I love this conference because I know all of you are getting started now, and it's such a wealth of information. And I don't know if you're going to any other breakout sessions, but it can be overwhelming. And I think what I said in like my 2-minute talk is talk to people here, because every clinic you talk to, every agency has different pricing, different protocols, different personalities, and you want to find one that's going to resonate with you. I don't know, Amy, what did LeeAnn say earlier? We're warm and fuzzy. We are. We love our jobs and the small role we play in helping people have families. And it's super rewarding for us to help you. It just makes us smile. And like one of the questions you probably think like, okay, this is a huge financial commitment. It's a huge emotional commitment. I mean, like you want to lay down and throw up. There's this strange woman who's going to be doing this incredibly intimate thing for you, and who the heck is she? So I'm just going to quickly talk about, and I got to talk fast. You can be my timekeeper. Who is she? Our surrogates come from Wisconsin, and we love them. They're regular people. There's important things to us. We do a lot of vetting before they come to us. One really huge thing is they have to be financially stable. They have to have had children that they've given birth to. They have to have a healthy history of successful pregnancies. So we've seen women from a hairdresser to a nuclear engineer who want to be surrogates, and everything in between. Typically, we get a lot of nurses and teachers, traditional helper roles, and they truly love being pregnant and they want to help someone. And oftentimes we hear women say, oh, my uncle was gay and he could never have kids, and I just want to pay it forward now because he never had that opportunity. And so they specifically want to work with gay men, which is awesome. You don't come to this process with some emotional baggage like maybe a hetero couple has that has spent a boatload of money on infertility and then realize, oh, now I have to pay another $100,000 to have a baby. So there's a lot more involved in that. And so women are like, oh, gay men, this is going to be fun. So they want you to be involved in the pregnancy. That's really, really important to them. They're not looking to be your best friend, but you have to see how your relationship evolves. It just depends. Again, you're strangers, but we help you embark on this intimate journey and help you through the whole process. So maybe there's a bump in the road. That's why you call us. That's why we're there for you. There's all kinds of bumps. It's a long journey. It's 15 to 18 months from the time you meet your surrogate to having the baby. And there's just a lot of steps involved in the process. So this woman, I'm digressing, but this woman comes to us, loves being pregnant, wants to help, but she comes very doe-eyed, like you are seeing here now, like, oh, what do we do? She's the same thing. So what's important to us is she come to us, she has to come to our office and meet with us, she has to bring her husband, and we go over with her what to expect in this process, just like we do with you. Just actually like what you've been given a wealth of information today, and you can't be expected to remember everything. You come work with us, we're going to remind you what to expect legally, medically, financially, emotionally in this process. We do the same with the surrogate. Because she's like, what do you mean I have to take shots every day for 10 weeks? It's like, yeah, that's part of the process. You have to be a rule follower. But she signs on. And I'm proud to say I've been doing this for almost 15 years now, and we've never had a problem. It's always been, in my opinion, a happy ending. Few rare instances people have walked away, but it's not common. Certainly not in the gay community. It's people who have infertility issues. Your success rates are going to be really high. You all need donor egg, and the clinics will tell you what their success rates are. I can talk to you about what we see in real time working with any of the clinics that you see here today. They're really good. Your success rate for a single embryo transfer is going to be in the high 80th, low 90th percentile. That's good news. Nobody can guarantee 100%, but it's going to work. It makes me smile. So, and you get to embark on this journey with this woman who really cares, and she wants you to meet her children, see her community, be involved with her. And those are things you want to ask yourself, like, what's my expectation for my surrogate? And we help you with that. What things are important? Virginia just talked, I don't know how many of you were in here about insurance, but that's really an important component. And honestly, in all of this, I think that's your biggest financial risk. The rest of it, I mean, a lot of people ask, oh, what if she wants to keep the baby? She can't. You know, I mean, that's just, in Wisconsin, surrogacy agreements are enforceable. Her biggest concern, what if you don't want the baby? Honestly. Like, what if you are married and divorced in the middle of your surrogacy? She's like, what's going to happen to the baby? You know, so she takes her job really seriously. One of the things, and now I'm going to have a brain fade, I was talking about, help me. Oh, no, coming in. Coming in. We got some front row peeps here. So your expectation for the relationship I was talking about. So we talked to you about that and how we match you. It's very personal. And, you know, Amy can tell you, it's not like we're not going to let you go through a book. It's too personal. So we give your priorities. What are your priorities in being matched? Where she lives, what kind of insurance she has, her views on abortion. She's going to want to transfer a single embryo, so don't even get twins in your head. It's not going to happen because none of our surrogates, yes, she'll carry identical twins because it could split, but she's not going to willfully transfer 2 embryos. You know, what type of personality is, what's her lifestyle? We're asking her the same questions. Who are these guys that you want to work with? Where do they live? What clinic are they working with? Is this going to be okay? Are you willing to travel? We put all that together and come up with what we call a match worksheet, and then we present to you the surrogate, and 99.9% of the time in the last 15 years, they say, yes, this is who I want to work with. So then we send your information to her, and you get to wait to see what she's going to say. And never has a surrogate said no. They get so excited. It's a beautiful thing. And then we facilitate the match at our office in Madison. So you also have to come to Madison, and darn, our office has a view of Lake Monona, and we live in a really fun city. So we facilitate that match for you, and then you're launched. And then we go on. I mean, we've got to get your information to the medical clinic and move on from there. So how's my time?
What time do you go until?
I think I've got till 48. Okay, so
10 minutes.
Oh, I still have 10 minutes? Oh, wow, I'm probably talking too fast. So some things you need to know about Wisconsin, okay? So a lot of you said you're local to Chicago. Illinois has a great law here. Well, it's a good law. There's one little minor piece in that your name goes on the birth certificate at birth, but you have to be genetically related, which I think they should open that up to people who are using donor embryos. But anyway, Wisconsin doesn't have a law. They have enforceable agreements. Law's not kept up with the science. So when Supreme Court said 3 years ago surrogacy contracts are enforceable, which was awesome, they said, hey, legislature, do something. Our legislature is really conservative, and this has been working in Wisconsin since 1995. It's just the way we do it. You know, your name does not go on the birth certificate at the hospital. It's a little bit hinky because the law is not kept up with the science, so you go to court to get parentage, and your name, you get an original birth certificate with both your names on it. So that's a little bit hinky, but it works, and we've never had a problem.
Even we are in Illinois, then we have to go to the court in Wisconsin to get that?
That's a good question. Law is predicated on where the baby, surrogate lives and the baby's born. As Virginia probably told you about insurance, Wisconsin's probably, I think, the only state in the union that has mandated coverage for women, if you have group health insurance, mandated coverage for a surrogate pregnancy. That's a bonus. I mean, you're still responsible for her co-pays and deductibles, but she's going to have insurance coverage on the pregnancy. You know, that's awesome. It's really important to us. All our surrogates have to have insurance. She sends us her insurance certificate. Virginia reviews our policies. It's worth it to pay for her to review the policy. She just told me yesterday when we're working on, they had an exclusion in it for host uterus. I mean, that seems to me like really bad. She goes, oh no, it's United UMC or whatever policy. She goes, no, it's under reproduction, not maternity. I mean, that woman knows her stuff. She works with policies nationally. She's awesome. And I just thought, yes, that's good news for our parents. They're not going to have to buy an additional policy. That's another priority we talk about when you're matched with your surrogate. Like, what kind of insurance does she have? We're going to tell you up front, we don't want you to be caught flat-footed financially. Like, how come you never told me this? What do you mean I owe $8,000 more? Another really critical thing, if you work with us, your baby's going to be born in Wisconsin and you're going to have a cheese head. So that's our gift to you. No, I'm kidding. No, I promise we won't do that. We won't do that. But the baby's born in Wisconsin, and so your insurance is really critical because went back to you don't get the birth certificate till after the hearing, right? Which is usually as fast as 1 day after the birth or maybe as long as 2 weeks after the birth. You get to go home with your baby. If you want to come back to Illinois, come back to Illinois. You have power of attorney. So you get to enroll the baby on your insurance. But you better be sure that your insurance has out-of-network coverage. So if your network here is Rush and your baby's born at St. Mary's in Madison, make sure that your policy is going to cover out-of-network. Because again, you don't want to get caught flat-footed, like your baby ends up in the NICU, God forbid, and suddenly your bill is $50,000 and your insurance isn't going to cover. So that's something we go over with you. We want to make sure that you're really well prepared before embarking on this important journey. And finally, I don't know how much more time I have because some Q&A, but one critical and hallmark of our program is our mental health screening that we do. We work with LeeAnn Schulz. She's a clinical psychologist at the University of Wisconsin. All our surrogates and our husbands do their psychological assessment with LeeAnn. LeeAnn, along with 2 other psychologists in the country, Andrea Braverman and Gretchen Sewell, who's from Seattle, wrote the guidelines that all these clinics are following on mental health guidelines. I can't even tell you how critical and important that piece is. You're going to think, what? She spends between 4 and 5 hours with the surrogate and her husband, preparing them for what to expect. You too do a psych consult with LeeAnn. Also spend 4 and 5 hours with you, and you're like, what the heck are we going to talk about? But no intended parent has ever left that meeting going, that was a waste of time. Things that you're not even thinking about that LeeAnn will cover with you. The cost of that eval is included in our agency fee, so that's no additional cost to you. And the clinics we work with recognize that LeeAnn, the value she brings to our program, and accept her psychological evaluations. They don't always accept anybody's. So she's a key player on our team, really, really important. So just know that when you're sitting down to meet your surrogate, there's been a lot of vetting going on. And again, I think it speaks to our program that we've never had a problem, and a key component of that is LeeAnn. She's kind of like the gatekeeper for us, because if the surrogate, we do all the vetting, the financial, criminal background checks and everything, and the interview with her, but then there's the psych component, and if she doesn't pass, it's rare, but it's a safeguard, is what I could say. Okay, time for questions. I've been talking really fast. Any questions? Yes?
Yeah, have you ever not had a successful match? And then the other thing is, how long does it typically take to match?
That's really good. Okay, no, we've never, is that double negative? Never not had a successful match. No, it's been really phenomenal. And I think it's because we really listen to you and like what's important. So that's really good. Yep, that's good, thank you. And as far as the timeline, the whole process takes about 15 to 18 months. I don't know if you want to pass it. There's in our brochure there. You can see we have a little map of our timeline. Once you apply to our program, we say like 2 to 4 months to find an appropriate match. We're not a big program. We're more of a boutique program. Right now we have about 10 parents waiting to be matched in our program, and about 7 or 8 surrogates who are waiting to be matched, and they don't all go together. And it's kind of fluid because we have more people applying, and some of those people get matched, and we have, it's kind of crazy, but that's kind of the volume we're dealing with right now, which is nice. We like it. Because if you contact us, you're going to talk to me, LeeAnn, or Amy. It's us. So that's kind of nice. You don't get assigned a case manager. We're your peeps, so, which is nice. Any other questions, or yes?
Do you have any single mom surrogates?
Sometimes. No, sometimes we do. One of the things that they have to demonstrate is they can't have really little kids, and that doesn't jive. And they have to demonstrate that they have strong community and family support, which is really, really, really important. Anybody else? Yes?
Can you quickly run down, like, agency fees, when it's due, how much for escrow?
Yeah,
when that's due?
that's really great. Our agency fee is $18,000. We do have a $500 application fee we use to open your file and run criminal and financial background checks. Then once you're admitted to our program, we have a 2+ hour consult. We can do that by Skype, or if we really want you to come to Madison, we can do your consult and your psych eval all in one day or over the course of 2 days. It's pretty overwhelming to do it all in one day. Then once we get the written evaluation from LeeAnn, you're fully admitted to our program. Make sure you're not crazy. And then we bill you another $3,000 there. And then once you're matched, a $10,000 fee is due. And then once you're pregnant, confirmed pregnancy by ultrasound, the final, I can't do the math, $5,000 is due. We take credit cards, which is good to know. And we'll bill you, so you have like a 30-day period to pay us. And the other thing to know is if, God forbid, your surrogate, something happens and the doctor goes, I don't approve her, or she's not gonna walk away from the deal. But maybe she's, heaven forbid, it's 3 times, and then you need another surrogate, we don't charge a rematch fee. And if you choose to work with your same surrogate for round 2, that's also, we can't contractually obligate you to work with us, but for a small fee, we're willing to help support you through the next journey, but we don't charge another agency fee.